in the OT region, which sparked disturbances there. We're live in the community where angry residents have taken over the residence of the DCE, demanding his immediate removal.
What kind of leader are you? It means that he can't rule us. So we want to replace him with a different person. DCE must go! DCE must go!
Also tonight, truce between Office of the Special Prosecutor and the Judicial Service as the two institutions undertake to work more closely to fight corruption after OSP recently accused elements of the judiciary of sabotaging the corruption war.
I do not intend to sound as though I'm predicting doom, but we are facing doom, and this is it. With this development, it will not be long. A suspected murderer will boldly walk to court that the court should injunct law enforcement agencies from investigating him.
Also in this bulletin, Africa Education Watch backs former President John Dramani Mahama as he questions the integrity of recently released WASSCE results. We'll hear from the civil society group as they say cheating during exams has become so widespread.
You go to places and the teachers are conniving with the children to cheat.
A lot of the examination fraud was taking place at the center level, where invigilators, supervisors, and candidates connived in many schools to cheat.
And in business,
government justifies signing of new contracts in the energy sector despite claims of excess capacity. You have details on business.
And Defo Asantewa's dream of breaking the Guinness World Record for the longest singing marathon by an individual gradually becoming reality with just over 15 hours to break the world record. And the date for the much anticipated 90s Jam has just been confirmed. It is Friday, 5th of January, and we have all the details.
Still Snoop Dogg and D.I. Guess who's back? Still.
My name is Fostina Sarfo. Thanks for choosing us. We're your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Tonight, the Ministry of National Security is denying its operative deliberately targeted and killed 2 residents of KJB in the OT region, which has sparked disturbances there. Angry youth from Yazo and Ahamanso today took over the residence of the district chief executive for KJB, Wilson Akbanyo, demanding his immediate removal. The demonstrators, wearing red armbands and wielding placards, went to the district assembly to present their petition to the DCE, but did not meet him. The youth have been protesting the alleged killing of 2 footballers in the community by the national security operatives. They blame the DCE for deploying the operatives.
Why should we be having the police officers, the immigration service, the customs service, and then somebody will be one with some useless uniform to come and stand as a national security operative and be shooting people anyhow? How does that happen? We are giving the government 2 weeks ultimatum to find justice for our brothers that were knocked down by the national security operative, or else we will come back here. And after the 2 weeks and nothing is being done, we will call for the removal of the DCE.
We are begging our leaders. We want national security operative to be cleared out of our constituency with immediate effect. If not, we are pissed off. They will regret whatever action that we are not happy. Our DC claims he doesn't know that these guys are in the constituency. It is so unfortunate that the district chief executive of a constituency doesn't know that there are other people coming outside the country, national, into his constituency, operating for over 1 month in his account to purchase cocoa.
Yes. We want to create a sense of awareness of the general public that we don't want to see any national security officers within the constituency. Why? Because the DC is claiming that he is not aware of the presence of the national security in his constituency. What kind of leader are you? It means that he can't rule us. So we want to replace him with a different person. DC must go! DC must go!
Let's get on the phone lines now and speak to our OT regional correspondent, Peter Seno. Peter, what's the update on the situation? Are these angry residents still occupying the DC's residence? We're working the phone lines now to reach Peter Seno, who is currently at the OT region. We're getting updates on the issue in that community. Currently, residents there are furious. They want the district chief executive to officially tender his resignation. Peter, I'm asking you, what's the update on the situation? Have you been able to speak to some of the residents? Are they still occupying the DCE's residence?
Well, as far as we know, I think before 3 p.m., the police were able to talk to these demonstrators to vacate the residence. So as we speak, the residency of the DC is free. They are not occupying it as we speak.
The big question now is, do you know the whereabouts of the district chief executive?
Hello, I can hardly hear you, please.
We want to know, do you know the whereabouts of the district chief executive? Because the residents say they came to his apartment, he was not there. Where is he then?
Well, I spoke to him earlier this morning, but he said he was out of town. So I've still been in touch with him. He's fine. He's not in harm, so nothing has happened to him. He should be fine as we speak.
Where out of town here means where? Where exactly is he?
Well, I don't have his itinerary though, but he only told me he was not, not him personally. His aide told me they were out of town as of the time the demonstrators came to his residency and office to present the petition to him. But I spoke to him earlier after they came, the demonstrators left the residency and he's fine.
Now, you've been doing some snooping around. What actually happened to these footballers?
Well, as listeners may have heard or known, yesterday we reported of the death of 2 football youngsters who hail from Iyajo. And so the DC went there to commiserate with the family. And so when we went there, during the conversations of commiseration, the youth got enraged that it was his action that brought the National Security Operatives, otherwise known as the Cocoa Board Task Force, to the district. And so they were not going to allow him to leave. And so he was physically prevented from entering his vehicle yesterday. And in fact, how he escaped from the community yesterday was kind of an action movie we've been seeing. And then it was not fine. And so today, the same friends and family of the deceased came, sort of demonstrated to express their displeasure about the happenings. And so they went to the assembly where they met the absence of the DC. And so they marched to his residency and then tried to occupy the place. But the intervention of the police forestalled any eventuality. And so they have spoken to them and they have since left the residency of the DC.
Thank you so much. Peter Seno is our OT regional correspondent. Well, we know that the National Security Ministry has issued a statement on the issue. My colleague Kweku Asante joins me live with details. Kweku, how did these 2 residents die according to the National Security Ministry?
Well, the ministry says that in October 2023, they, in collaboration with Cocoa Board, launched an intelligence-led operation along the Eastern Corridor, which includes the Akan constituency, to prevent cocoa smuggling to neighboring countries. The launch of the intelligence-led operation was informed by a surge in cocoa smuggling activities, leading to a significant reduction in the quantum of cocoa beans sold to farmers by the LBCs. The anti-cocoa smuggling operations have so far been successful, with several persons in the smuggling activities arrested. And that, regrettably, on December 25, Christmas Day, one of the vehicles of the anti-cocoa smuggling operations team was involved in an accident when it collided head-on with a motorcycle carrying 2 persons, a development that claimed the lives of the 2 persons aboard the motorbike. In the aftermath of that accident, personnel of the Ghana Police Service arrived at the scene to commence full-scale investigations. However, some aggrieved persons in the Akan constituency, guided by a misconception that the 2 deceased persons were deliberately targeted, vandalized the vehicle and set it ablaze. The ministry deeply regrets the loss of the 2 persons and expresses its deepest condolences to the family. The ministry, however, deems it prudent to put on record that the incident leading to the deaths of the 2 persons was purely accidental and not born out of a targeted operation.
Interesting. Thank you, Kwekwa Asante. Now, let's go on the phone lines now and speak to MP for the Account constituency, Yao Gamado. Thank you for your time here on Newsnight, Yao Gamado. The ministry is accusing you of putting out inaccuracies about the incident to court disaffection for the anti-cocoa smuggling operation currently ongoing in your constituency. Do you concede to this?
Hello?
I can hear you loud and clear. I'm asked that the ministry is accusing you of putting out inaccuracies about this incident to court some sort of disaffection for the anti-cocoa smuggling operation currently ongoing in your constituency. Do you concede to this?
Good evening, and same to your cherished listeners. I think the national security, they're just trying to cover up. They should bury their heads in shame for what they are trying to publish. The fact of the issue is that I wasn't there. Yesterday at 10 o'clock in the morning, my attention was drawn to the incident. So I quickly called the DCE to find out if the information gotten to me was true. Because 2 weeks ago, similar thing happened, and they were shooting incident resulting to 4 persons injured, which he himself had condemned. So I wanted to find out from him. When he got to the line, he said, in fact, he didn't want to comment on this issue. I said, why not? You and I are the topmost people in the constituency. So if there is something like this, you need to let me know. It's resulting to the death of 2 young men. He said he's not ready to talk. So I said, okay. So from there, I called one of the officers who had gone to investigate at the accident scene. And what he told me was that the so-called national security operatives were chasing a taxi suspected to be carrying cocoa on the Eastern Corridor Road. Getting to Kotonkwanta, their lights were off, and they wanted to, they moved out from their lane to the opposite lane to cross the taxi. In so doing, they crashed with these 2 young men, 22 and 19 footballers, who were might be reporting to their camp or living at the camp. They played the second division team that we had in the constituency, the Yajo Warriors Club. So that resulted to their death. So I don't know if you have read my press release, and I have not said anything different from that. What I did that I expected the national security to appreciate is that I call on the bereaved to remain calm and assure them that we investigate this issue with the help of the government to bring these people and be protected. So I don't know what I've said wrong, that they are now putting shit.
Interesting. Now, there's a general concern by community
can
members.
You speak a bit louder? I can't hear you.
There are general concerns from members of the community. They allege that the DCE actually ordered these national security operatives to go on this hunt. In your snooping around, is this true?
I beg your pardon, say it again.
I'm saying there are general concerns from residents of the community. They allege that the DCE actually issued a directive for the national security operatives individuals to actually go after these people. In your snooping around with the people investigating these issues, did they confirm this to you?
I can't hear you clearly, my dear.
The DCE involved in this issue, directly or indirectly, did he issue that command for the national security operatives to go after these individuals? That's what I'm asking you, Mr. Yao Gamado.
I do not know, but from his interview a while ago, and as I heard the constituents are saying
that he has no idea about the presence of the national security operatives in his district, which is totally false. What of it? 2 weeks ago, they shot four men. These very people who were wearing some kind of uniform that they belong to national security operatives arrested a young man that he was the one they arrested the other time and he escaped carrying cocoa. And the young man said no, he wasn't the one. During the struggling, he managed to escape and they started firing. You can ask your correspondent over there. 4 men were shot. And so if the DC, is saying that he's not aware of, then this is completely false.
Interesting. Now, let's get to the phone lines now and speak to the man at the center of this issue, the embattled District Chief Executive for KJB, Wilson Agbanyo. Thank you for joining us here on Newsnight. First off, I want to find out, are you safe?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm very safe.
Now,
I am.
Where are you currently?
I'm in KJB. I'm in the constituency.
Residents say they came over to your residence earlier, but they could not find you. Are you saying you're back home now?
Yeah, what really happened was that I had some engagement somewhere, not in another part of the district. So I came back only to hear they were at the residency and read had their press conference and that.
Let's get straight to it. Did you deploy these national security operatives accused by the residents of killing these 2 footballers?
Thank you very much again. I did not deploy the national security into the constituency. I guess you have read the press release by national security. I guess you have read it this afternoon.
Yes.
You have read it?
I have.
If you have that, it means that I was not the one that ordered them.
But residents in your community think otherwise. Now, what do you know about the circumstances surrounding the killing of these 2 footballers? We want to account.
Yes, thank you very much. I heard my honorable member of parliament saying that he called me yesterday and I didn't mind. Unfortunately, he is not in the constituency. He's spending it somewhere in the Tema. I am in the constituency. I was having a meeting as a gentleman when he called me. So no, hold on, I cannot talk to you now. Later, I'll call you. Okay, back to the issue itself. On the eve of 25th December, it was alleged that one car that I cannot talk about, around 8:30 thereabout in the evening, passed through a Hamasu barrier with force, and they suspected it of carrying cocoa beans. So the task force made of cocoa board and national security operatives chased this car from Hamasu Junction towards KJB. On reaching Koto Kwanta, I'm sure there's a curve there, because they wanted to overtake the car ahead of them. Unfortunately, these young boys were also coming from KJB, and their car ran into them. That was where the unfortunate incident happened. And being responsive, I quickly ordered the police commander, Commander Jan Mante, to go to the scene and see what was happening. He went, reported to me around 12 midnight all the issues that transpired at the scene. So the following day, he went again to the mortuary with the cops and others to make necessary entries at Mary Teresa Hospital.
Now, let's find out from you. The youth in your area, they want you to tender in your resignation. Would you do that?
Why would I do that? Because this is just an unfortunate incident. So, for me being responsible, I went yesterday to commiserate with the families after speaking with the chief of the town, Dr. Agbola. And he called me that they were certain I should come so that we talk as to what we have to do. I went there peacefully, commensurate with the family. I went in the company of the police. After I spoke and appeased the families, they were just about to tell me how the burial would take place because of the way the bodies were mutilated. Then somebody who is not coming from that place, he is coming from Pampawea, stood up to stoke the fire among the people that they shouldn't accept any burial until the national security operators are brought to them at Yajo. That was what stoked the issue.
Interesting. Now let's move on to other stories. Thank you so much for joining us here on Newsnight. We've been speaking to the District Chief Executive for KJB, Wilson Akpanyo. He's been giving clarity as to what actually happened in his constituency. He's very emphatic. He's not willing to tender in his resignation. Now, the Judicial Service and the Office of the Special Prosecutor have agreed a truce that will see both institutions work more closely to fight corruption. The Special Prosecutor, Kisi Jabing, had recently gone public at a news conference accusing some elements in the judiciary of sabotaging his office fight against corruption with questionable rulings.
The duty and mandate of the courts is to apply and enforce the laws of the Republic and not to grant persons immunity from criminal investigation and prosecution. A court cannot injunct the OSP from investigating or prosecuting any person. The decision to investigate and prosecute lies with the investigation and prosecution authorities, such as the OSP. And the OSP has at all material times carried out its power to investigate with candor and professionalism, being minded of the rights of suspects under its investigation. Members of the press, just as it is essential that anyone accused of a crime should have free access to the courts so that he may be duly acquitted if found not guilty of the offense with which he or she is charged, it is also of the utmost importance that the judiciary should not interfere with investigation and prosecution authorities in respect of matters which are within their statutory powers. It will be gravely inimical to public policy, the fight against corruption, and the administration of justice if the court stepped into this arena to decide who should be investigated, who should be prosecuted, and who should not. That is not the function of adjudication. The danger of this startling decision is again quite obvious. A judge has in the process granted two persons immunity from investigation.
Join me now is Kweko Asante with our Legal Affairs Desk. Kweko, what are the details of this undertaking signed by the Office of the Special Prosecutor and the Judicial Service?
Well, it's just a one-pager, really short, signed by both the Judicial Service and the OSP. It says, recalling the joint engagement with other stakeholders, including the Ghana Bar Association, civil society organizations promoting governance issues, and the National Media Commission, concerned about the seriousness of the problems and threats posed by corruption and corruption-related activities to our development and democracy, and noting the important roles of the judiciary and the Office of the Special Prosecutor in combating corruption and corruption-related activities. These two institutions affirm a joint commitment to suppress and repress corruption and corruption-related activities in all forms through a collaborative enforcement of the law and continuous engagement while upholding the rule of law and the provision of fair hearing to all stakeholders in the criminal justice system.
Kweko Asante is with our legal desk. Let's go on the phone lines now and speak to the Public Relations Officer for the Ghana Bar Association, Xavier Kuji, on this developing story. Xavier, how does the Ghana Bar Association react to this joint statement from the two institutions? Is it welcoming?
Thank you very much, and good evening to your cherished listeners. Our position is that this is welcome news that is commendable. We see this as renewed commitment between the judiciary and the Office of the Special Prosecutor to fight corruption and corruption-related activities. And we see this also as a form of renewed collaboration. I'm using the word renewed because all along, to us, they've been collaborating, they've been committed to the cause of fighting corruption and corruption-related activities. this is the way we think we should go. That is why, as the Bar Association, we have in recent times engaged certain bodies over their activities, which of course was on the blind side of the media. But I will mention just two of them. When a chairman brutalities happened involving the military, the Ghana Bar Association engaged the CDS together with the leadership of the top hierarchy of the Ghana Armed Forces. And when Julobi demonstration also happened, the Ghana Bar Association again engaged the IGP and the top management of the police service. So for us, for the past 3 years, we've done quite a number of engagements, and even resolving the strike that JUSAC embarked on, with working behind the scenes before things work out. So for us, I think this is the way we should go. We should collaborate. We should learn to engage each other rather than going the way we normally do. But this is also to stress the point that this doesn't take away the fact that court rules and procedures will be, must be observed. So there's no way they are going to be compromised. Just that, as I said, it's a renewed commitment to make sure all these processes are followed through.
Should this have been the approach from the start?
Excuse me, you are very faint.
Should this have been the approach from the start?
I think this should have been more appropriate because once you had not exhausted the process and along the line, you realize that things were not going the way you expected. To me, this should have been the approach, but not what had been done by way of news conference or press conference.
Thank you very much. PRO of the Ghana Bar Association, Xavier Kuji, join us on Newsnight. Now, we also have former MP for Tamale Central, who has served in the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee in Parliament, Inusa Fuseni, joining us here on Newsnight. Welcoming news for you, is it?
Well, very welcoming. I think that ought to have been the way state institutions should work in order to nip problems confronting the society in the bad. I have always advocated that it is in the national interest that we see state institutions collaborating for a purpose, and this is one such purpose that clearly needs the collaboration of not only the judiciary but also the special prosecutor and other public sector organizations. And I think that this is commendable. I would like to see this extended to the fight against illegal small-scale mining and see more collaboration in ensuring that the country's interest is protected.
Do you send this signal? Do you have a sense that this is signaling that to the public the willingness of these institutions to deal with corruption, or is it just a waste of our time?
No, I'm sensing that, and I'm sensing that the judiciary is coming on board, because when you look at the second recital, they said concerned about the corruption and corruption-related offences, on the impact of corruption and corruption-related offences on development and our democracy. So they are concerned. I mean, clearly, and noting certain things that ought to be done. You see, and then affirming their position to collaborate in order to fight this canker through established institutions, through established procedure. So clearly, they are sending the signal that, they are concerned. Well, they note efforts being made in that direction. They note the impact of that on development, corruption and development. And they are saying that, all of us ought to work together to nip this in the bud, to fight corruption and fight it with the seriousness and attention that it deserves.
Inusa Fuseni is former Member of Parliament for Tamale Central. Thank you so much for joining us here on Newsnight.
Still Snoop Dogg and D.I.
Well, after business, the date for the much anticipated 90 Jams has just been confirmed. It's Friday, 5th of January. We have all the details after this break. George Riafi.
Hi, Fostina. I know it was just much anticipated. Last year, it couldn't come on because of some COVID restrictions, and finally, the date is out, and that's a date where everyone is looking forward to. It has to be the place to be.
I can see myself in my outfit.
Definitely. Well, coming up in business, Energy Ministry justifies signing of new contracts for power sector despite claims of excess capacity. And Transport Consultancy so Gabra describes phasing out of manual system for vehicle registration as prudent move as to go a long way to deal with fake documentations. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, Syntex Tanks, and Pepsodent Charcoal and Herbal.
Imagine strutting into the most anticipated wedding of the year. Only to see 7 other girls wearing your exact same outfit.
You are special and one of a kind, and that's why whether it's voice, data or SMS, you get to enjoy personalized offers tailored to your specific needs with MTN Just For You. Dial *141# or select your options on the My MTN app to redeem your unique Just For You package on Ghana's best mobile network. MTN.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom. And my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHS, Kumasi KNUST campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City. Or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
No matter your water needs, Syntex has it all. Syntex Tank was first to introduce double layer tank, and now you can have as many layers as you want. Syntex Tank was first to introduce white inner layer tanks in Ghana, and now introduces the customer specs order, which will let you order any color and size you want. Syntex Tanks gives you the biggest warranty of 7 years, which no other tank gives you. So whatever your water consumption, size of project or demand, choose Syntex Tank. Syntex Tank, stress-free. Syntex Tank, reliable. Syntex Tank, maximum guarantee. Call 0244 335 168, Kumasi 0505 555 666, or visit syntexgh.com. Syntex Tank, a strong, a tough.
The world awaits this. The journey begins in Accra. Prepare to witness a global spectacle. Africa's biggest theatrical venture, the second coming of Nkrumah by Lateef Abubakar.
Our independence is meaningless unless it links up with total liberation of the African continent.
Experience the fusion of captivating drama, vibrant dances capturing the spirit of Africa.
Freedom!
Live at the Accra International Conference Center, 28th, 29th, and 30th of December 2023. 2 shows each day, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Dial *711*10# to purchase or visit theafricanfestival.com. Tickets are also available at Kuala, Airport Shell, Joy FM, and Bachona Total. Call 0571 900 900 for details. The second coming of Nkrumah, Africa's biggest theatrical venture, is brought to you by MNC Group Global in partnership with Joy Entertainment and Graphic News Plus. Plus app, powered by the African Festival.
Media Sambisanda mo. Tiamratiano, Munu, I panic to be fit. Namu put on Pemu Maniacono. Eh, Quabna. No, Mumu wants to me just my memory in that day. And the crow, cooperate to me, Rinam Budon Pimus, so you super excellent ever. I had a binding the Braille, who see it in a mobile, some man are holding it. Sir, I now could you soon use super excellent Chaco, Nenry dear, a mouse, and we are credit fit of that. No, what you are sleeping, your mother feel you. Kojo, sir. Yeah. Pepsodent Eba and a Pepsodent Chaco. A idea. You're gonna natural.
FTIJ Trading Katuyatu.
Joy 99.7 FM.
You're welcome back to Business on News Now. Now, the Energy Ministry is justifying the signing of new power contract despite claims of excess capacity. The current administration is reported to have signed new power deals in recent times after claiming that the country has enough power supply and criticizing the former administration for waste of resources. The Deputy Minister of Energy, Andre Japamesa, says this is to deal with future demands.
We will sign new contracts, but when they come on board, when they impose obligations on you, it's relevant, no? And so if you sign a contract looking into your future projections that by 2027, 2028, I will need additional capacity, and so contract today so that it will come on stream by that time. I don't see why anybody should have any problems with it. An existing facility in country that has expired, that the facility doesn't belong to you. AXA plant is not ours. We contracted them to deliver power to us for a finite period, after which they were entitled to decommission and take their plants away. But you have a demand.
Deputy Energy Minister Andrew Ejapa Mesa. Now, transport consultant Cecil Gabra has described the phasing out of manual system for vehicle registration and other services as a prudent move. The Driver, Vehicle and Licensing Authority today announced that they have phased out manual systems for registering vehicles and other services. Mr. Gabra says this will help deal with fake documentations, but advised the authority to still be vigilant.
Pray that there must be further underground checks with the system, because I know the Guru boys, they are so sharp, very intelligent people, okay, who will go to another step and make sure that their documents are intact, even more than DVLA. Believe in me that they are smart people. All what they want to have is a share of the monies that you would be taken to DVLA to do this documentation. So if DVLA will block it, that is fine.
Transport consultant Cecil Gabra. Now, government has expressed its commitment to providing the right atmosphere for businesses that want to grow in a sustainable environment. It cites some policy measures ruled out in the budget that indicative of its zeal to support enterprises going green in the economy. Professor John Barfor is chairman of the National Development Planning Commission.
As a country, we recognize that the transition to a green economy is not just an environmental imperative, but also a significant economic opportunity. Ghana launched a Climate Prosperity Plan, which is a strategy to facilitate our transition towards low carbon economy, focusing on projects that are climate resilient in the areas of 1, resilient and sustainable transformation of energy, transportation, health, and the built environment. 2, resilient health, sanitation.
Chairman of the National Development Planning Commission, Professor George John Barfor. And that's all for Business on News Night. Back to you, Fosti.
Thank you, George. Now, flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Mahama, is tonight being backed by Africa Education Watch after he questioned the integrity of the recently released WASSCE results. John Mahama claimed during his Build in Ghana tour that some invigilators relaxed the rules of the exams and aided students to cheat. Executive Director of Africa Education Watch, Kofi Asare, explains their monitoring also confirms widespread cheating. More from him shortly, but first listen to the former president when he addressed a town hall meeting at the Mfansiman constituency in the Central Region.
After 1 year exams are in many places, one checking Kwadano, they let the children cheat freely. You go to places and the teachers are conniving with the children to cheat. The effect of this will be seen later. Because you certify these children, you say he's of this standard, either basic BECE or SSCE. And that child will use that certificate, go abroad to a school, and they'll find that in Ghana, your qualification is not up to what you say it is. It is going to affect this nation. I think we're just doing it. Anytime the results come, you say, oh, the children have performed better than they ever performed before. You know, and we all know what is happening in the system.
Executive Director of Africa Education Watch, Kofi Asare, backs this assertion, insisting cheating during BEC and WASI has become so widespread, even WAEC acknowledges how big a challenge this has become.
Situate the comment that Mr. Mahama made in its proper context. He hasn't said anything new because that is one of the challenges we have at present. WAEC's own statement they issued during WASI this year indicated that instances of collusion in the examination room, were widespread. And our monitoring also indicated that yes, because the Ministry of Education has put in place measures to prevent the usual leakage of questions, a lot of the examination fraud was taking place at the center level, where invigilators, and supervisors and candidates connived in many schools to cheat. In all advanced jurisdictions, assessment bodies conduct examination, terminal examination like WAEC.
But Education Minister Dr. Yawo Seiduchum insists standards have not fallen. He spoke on Newsfile last Saturday.
From village to village, when my people visited, they found students who have gone to top high schools in the country, people who have gone to Presec from Bosomtwe, and they were waiting for opportunity to go to the university. So it was so easy to find qualified high school graduates to take them to UMAT and take them to KMUST within a period of 2 to 3 years. So if standards had fallen, it was not going to be easy for you to find students who have done science and have graduated, they are qualified to go into universities. Now you look at the majority of our youth and they have opportunity for secondary education. And when they go there, it's not the high school of yesteryears. You have students going to STEM schools. You have students who have now an opportunity to do hands-on activities, build robots, even fly drones. So how can you say standards have fallen?
Let's go on the phone lines now and speak to Reverend Isaac Owusu. He's president of the Ghana National Association of Teachers. Thank you for joining us here on Newsnight. First off, do you accept that your members are aiding students to cheat sometimes?
Well, let me say a very good evening to your cherished viewers and listeners. And I might say that it is not factual that our members are aiding students just to pass for passing sake.
So what's your reaction to the proposal that we dismiss teachers? Especially in the exams hall, we should use independent individuals as invigilators and not teachers. What's your reaction to that?
Yes, for us, dismissing teachers and using independent people to invigilate the exams is neither here nor there. You see, the teachers who invigilate the examination, they are not just there. They are supervised by what we call supervisors, recruited by the West African Examination Council. On top of it, we have the police, the Ghana Police Service, men and women put in place to mount the papers at the various depots. And when they are going for the papers from the depot, the policeman or woman accompanies the paper to the examination center. Of course, you might get 1 or 2 people who will engage or indulge him or herself in exam or practice. But it doesn't mean that the teacher's role as invigilator should be trampled upon, and then just say that because 1 or 2 people are doing bad things, we should put all the teachers who are invigilating together. That is not the case.
So it's fair if teachers caught aiding students are immediately dismissed, isn't it?
Well, we have rules and regulations guiding our work. So if a teacher is caught during examination, the teacher must be made to face the law.
And there are procedures that a teacher will have to go through in under GES.
Not instant dismissal?
No. Because a person accused is innocent until proven guilty. Is that not it?
Yes, but once proven guilty, should their license been taken away from them?
Yes, if indeed a competent court of jurisdiction is proving that the teacher is guilty, then whatever sanction that is there for the teacher can be applied. But not when one or two people sit together and take a decision without even allowing the law to take its course. We are not holding food for any teacher, but a teacher who is alleged to have been put him or herself in examination of practice should be allowed to be heard.
Reverend Isaac Owusu is president of the Ghana National Association of Teachers. Thank you so much for joining us here on Newsnight. Now let's talk about the Singathon.
Baby, I'm free, baby, I'm a dream. Oh, therefore, one of it's my stand back and take account. Oh, therefore, wait there, it had to be you. Stand back and take account. Oh, therefore, one of it's me.
Efwa Santiwa's dream of breaking the Guinness World Record for the longest singing time by an individual is gradually becoming a reality. The current record holder, Sun Ying, officially sang for 105 hours, which is equivalent to approximately 4 days and 9 hours. Efwa is expected to break this record and extend it. Well, we only have at least 15 hours till she breaks that already existing record. Really, what are the rules of engagement? My colleague Michael Ashali has been doing some checks and he joins me with details of that. Michael, what are the rules?
So, first, let's walk through some of them, about 9 of them, right? Now, applications for this record, to start with, a record title, are granted to applicants who are 16 years and above. So, foresee your kid brother, your kid sister cannot partake in this record. 16 years below, you can. But foresee you standing there. Of course. Right after her, you can decide to go, you can do a duet with Koko Asante. Now, the second rule of engagement is that songs sung throughout the attempt must be recognizable and performed to a reasonable standard. It means that you can't just concoct a song or do a jam on your own and decide to say that you want to sing Hey Baba, Hey Baba, Hey Baba.
Standards here, are you talking about the quality of the voice?
No, not quality of the voice necessarily. If you are singing somebody's song, you have to sing the song.
Okay.
You can't have your own rendition of the song. Yes.
It means we're safe, yeah?
Yes. So, now again, singing must be continuous with only brief pauses of not more than 30 seconds allowed between songs. So the intro of the song where there's a small beat and all of that, almost not exceed 30 seconds.
Interesting.
Yes, and all of this will come under the scrutiny of the Guinness World Records. Again, now each piece of music performed must last for at least 2 minutes. So you can pick a Shatawale song, Freedom, and then you sing it for 1 minute, 10 seconds. You have to do more than 2 minutes of that song.
So is it okay if I do the song twice?
Well, we'll come to that. So, again, no piece of music may be repeated in performance within 4 hours. Songs can only be repeated after 4 hours. So, if you want to repeat a song, you have to wait and make sure it's exactly 4 hours. I don't know how they are timing that. Yeah, most definitely. So, if you heard her sing a Seda song, she has to wait at least 4 hours. If we sang it tonight at midnight, she expected to sing it at 4 a.m. or say 8 a.m. She can't do that any earlier. Again, applicant is permitted to take 5 minutes break every hour or 20 minutes break after 4 hours.
which she has been doing. She prefers the 20 minutes break, and I would have gone for that because 5 minutes I think is not just enough.
We'll bring that into perspective later on, but just to deal with the rest of the rules that are remaining. So improvisation or jamming is not allowed.
What does that even mean?
You can improvise with, like I said, doing Jama, be doing, singing your own rendition or bringing and make up your own song. No,
but
we want a recognized song so that
this
we can
is
tell.
Unfair.
Yes, so that we can tell whether you are singing a song more than 2 minutes. You get it. So I mean, it's there. Again, applicants must be accompanied or not accompanied. If accompanied, no musicians may play for more than 4 hours, after which they must take a break or at least 4 hours. I don't know the proper interpretation of this, but probably sounds like you can have somebody accompany your backing vocalist, but the person can't be with you for more than 4 hours. But as it stands now, at least we've heard from her in interviews that they don't want an interference from the crowd. That's why you see the glass in front of her. She sings throughout all by herself. That's all they want to hear. That in her clear recording, she's the only one singing. And finally, after the attempt, a playlist of all tunes performed must be maintained and submitted to Guinness World Records.
So
you must do all of this. Yeah.
When she's done, she must do all this.
Yes.
What's next?
Well, she's expected to document all that she has done, both video and audio recordings, and the list of songs must be submitted to Guinness World Records. But there's a possible challenge where, like what more recently happened to Hilda Bassi, where she attempted the Cookathon. The current record for the longest singing marathon by an individual is held by an Indian singer. You mentioned that, who initially claimed 125 hours, but officially recognized for just 105 hours after issues with validation. So he claimed to have sung 125 hours, but Guinness Records only recognized 105 hours. For Nigerian chef Hilda Bassi, her 100 record was slashed down to 93 hours. 7 hours take it off. So there are those. So definitely validation process will happen, and then we'll see what her official record will be.
So let's take you now live to Akwaba village, where Michelle Ejikum is on the grounds interacting with patrons who have thronged the place to offer support to Ifwa Asantewa. Michelle, tell me, what's happening?
Well, right now, there are a number of people, who have come by to show support for Ifwa Asantewa. But of course, in the last 3 days since it started, let's say 3 to 4 days since it started, we've had a number of celebrities, dignitaries troop in to show their support to her. Earlier today, we had Alan Cash pass through. We've also had the mayor of Accra, and also the chief of justice was also here to also show their support to her. A number of celebrities have passed through, and trust me, the support is just massive and it's very incredible. And I must say that Ghanaians have really come out to support her. Initially, we all thought, this wasn't going to, but speaking to people, in fact, they confirmed that when they saw the artworks and everything, they thought it was a joke. But looking at how far she's gone, they realized that Ifwa is really determined. And so they've come out in their numbers to support her and make sure that she's able to break the existing record, and also, if possible, set a new one that will be very difficult for anyone to try to break anytime soon.
Let's talk about Ifwa herself. She's been going now for 90 hours. How is she faring?
Trust me, if you are here, the view, looking at her inside, seeing how weak she looks, we all felt scared at a point. She sings for a bit, and then you realize that the words don't even come out. And speaking to people, again, they were like, okay, we thought she was just going to end it, but look, she's got to go. And when you look at her, you see that she's very determined. Though she's weak at some point, she still wants to sing. She still wants to make sure that she breaks the record, and that's what she's doing. But trust me, she doesn't look like someone who is, enjoying herself too much, because it's a lot of work. And trust me, you can see that she's going through pain, but her determination to break the record is allowing her to go beyond her body can take her.
Indeed, it is a lot of work, and we're rooting for her. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us here on Newsnight. Now, let's talk about the Joy FM family party in the park. Mini picnics, family reunion, good music and Christmas bliss swept through their Brick Gardens as thousands gathered for the 2023 Joy FM family party in the park. Patrons walked away with amazing prizes, with Kwabna Kwabna, Ifya Kwampa Band and the Lipstick Queens thrilling them with good music, while those who had the privilege to participate say they cannot wait for the next edition. Maxwell Agbagba was there and filed this report.
The energetic performance by Kwampa Band electrified the park, turning the Bri Botanical Gardens into a lively convention ground with patrons dancing in circles. Musician Ifya had the crowd singing along. And then Kwabna Kwabna took the stage, prompting everyone to sing along.
It is hands down the most anticipated date in the new year, and now Joy News can reveal that the long-awaited return of the 90s Jam will happen on Friday, the 5th of January 2024. DJs will take turns to take patrons on a journey down memory lane. You can expect hits such as these. Let's go on the phone lines now and speak to DJ Black, his head of music programs for Joy Brands. Black, so finally we know the date, but where is it all going down?
Hello.
Hi, Black. I
Yeah,
know
hi.
that we're so excited. We finally have the date. Where is it happening?
It's happening at the Kragal area, which is behind or beside the Accra Mall, on the 6th of January.
Should we expect this year?
Well, as you know, the 90s was an era where we call the golden era of urban music. This is where, you know, hip-hop, R&B, dancehall, all, flurried out, and there were different styles and different songs. The 90s was also an era where in Ghana, private radio also became quite popular. You saw the birth of most private stations. We also saw the birth of hip life. We saw the birth of our beloved, we call it rag life. So in the 90s, of course, on the night, we are going to be playing lots of music from that era, things that will bring nostalgia to those who enjoyed the nightlife in Accra then, the Glens nightclub, the Fox Traps, the Matador era, and the DJ life, where you also saw the birth of a lot of DJ competitions, the likes of Azigiza, Kofi Dixon, Fifi Craft, So it's going to be a night where people are really going to, reminisce on good songs and how they enjoy themselves when they were young. So it's a night that I encourage everybody who enjoyed the 90s
to come and join us at Accra area on the 6th of January.
Are you going to be on the turntables yourself?
Definitely, I'm going to be there with Andy Dosty and a lot of surprises.
Surprises I like. Well, that's how we wrap up the bulletin. My name is Fostina